Hey, welcome to the first episode of Coffee Break, where a couple of code geeks sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and look for some answers. I'm Rolan.
And I'm Kevin.
And today we're actually going to be asking each other some questions, trying to learn a little bit about each other and do a little interview. But first question is, before we actually started this, Kevin was telling me about the coffee he made today. And I have no idea what he's talking about. So what kind of coffee did you make today?
So today I made a cup of black coffee mixed with espresso and a little bit of milk. There's a name for it.
Okay, wait, what did you say? What did you say? Espresso?
Yeah.
Okay, so black coffee mixed with espresso, and I've never heard of this.
This is a drink combination. You can get this.
Do you have a name for it?
I'm sure Google does. I don't. It's good though. I like it.
Okay. Well, that's what Kevin's drinking today. I am drinking a normal Colombian 100% black drip coffee. A little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar. And that's my normal go-to in the mornings. But
I can't do all that. I stick with the black coffee like 90% of the time. I figured today I'll spice it up a little bit, but I also go to the Colombian roast as well.
Yeah. Well, so just again, I gave you an overview of what this podcast is going to be going forward. The plan is to talk about things to an extent that we'd have no idea about, or maybe a little bit of an idea about. We're both trying to learn a little bit about the world, one conversation at a time, and go from there. Does that sound right, Kevin?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think one of the things we're trying to accomplish is just have a good time talking about different things, and hopefully getting to meet some people down the line as well. Have some interesting conversations.
Yeah, that's definitely a goal. I'm actually very excited about that. But first, I have to learn a little bit more about you. So we both prepared some questions for each other. We haven't taken a look at the questions that we each made, but we do have some general questions that we're both going to answer and start off with. Should be a good time. But our first question is, we kind of already answered actually, to be honest, but how do you take your coffee? And what's your favorite cup?
I take my coffee. I take my coffee black. Usually, that's my go-to. I'll have it once or twice a day, and always Colombian. Usually, I refuse to drink anything else most of the time.
So,
what about you?
Well, do you just drink it like drip, like a drip coffee?
Pretty much, yeah. I have been using a Keurig machine. Does Keurig count as drip coffee? Is that the same thing?
Keurig barely counts as coffee. So.
I'm not as much of an expert as Rolan is on coffee, but I use basically a Keurig machine with just little K-cups, nothing too fancy, and then I steal other people's coffee at work. So that's my take on it. What about you? What do you drink?
Well, like I said, I have a cup every morning. Okay, it's a drip coffee, same roast. It's like a medium dark roast. Get it from Costco. It's wonderful, and it's a kind of a finer grind that I grind it to, and about 1.5 cups every morning, and then in the evenings, I have a cappuccino. Make myself a cappuccino, and it's true cappuccino, okay, not a latte. It's 50% coffee, or 50% espresso, 50%, well, and the weird thing about it is actually...
Is it espresso? How are you saying it?
It's not espresso. It's not espresso. There's no X, it's just espresso.
Espresso. With an
S.
Espresso.
Kevin, we started a coffee podcast and you don't even know how to say espresso.
You can't even pronounce it. Canceled.
Yeah. Okay. Well, So I like to have a cappuccino around like 7, 8 o'clock. And that's usually how I cap off the night. Now, a lot of people say, it's going to keep you up, blah, 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 blah. For me, it doesn't actually do that. I think I've been kind of desensitized to that level of caffeine, but who am I to say? My favorite cup is my morning coffee mug. I've been using for probably 10 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, yep. It's the mug. My mom gave it to me, and I took it when I moved out. I have been cherishing it.
Does it have like designs on it, or what kind of mug is this?
It's a nice white mug with a little palm tree on it.
A little palm tree, okay.
It's like but it has like a brown rim. It's the perfect coffee mug. I use it every morning. I get upset when other people use it.
How many ounces of coffee does it take?
Ounces, probably 12 to 16, I think.
Okay, so that's a good sized cup of coffee.
Yeah, it's usually 3 cups, like actual cups, measurement cups. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I take that coffee mug every morning. By far my favorite cup. But I also got a cappuccino mug that I love, and it's a mug with Van Gogh's Starry Night on it. That's what I use in the evenings. Very nice. Do you have a mug?
I also have a mug. Well, most of the time I use these ceramic black mugs, and I really like those. This is like my go-to. But I have a special mug. I don't use it often. My friend, he's from Peru, and he got me a Peruvian Game of Thrones knockoff mug, and it just sits in my cabinet. But it's great. It's awesome.
Okay, you say knockoff. What is that? What do you mean by
it? Yeah, I don't think it's like official. It looks like somebody like painted it on or something.
Okay, I'm gonna have to see a picture of that later. Okay.
I've never seen it though. I've never seen anybody else have it. It's a very interesting mug. I'll have to show you sometime.
All right. All right. Why don't you take the second one?
So, Roland, what we're gonna jump into the next question, and then the question is, how did you get into software development, and why do you find it interesting?
Yeah, so as we both mentioned, or at the beginning, we're both software developers, and the way I got into software development was, well, actually, I've been coaxed into software development my entire life. So it just so happens my dad
groomed.
Yeah, I've been groomed. My dad is a software developer. My brother's a software developer. So my dad's been trying to get us into software development for my entire life. He would coax us with rewards, computer time, or like Xbox time, all sorts of stuff, crazy systems that we can get into later. And I hated it. I hated coding. I thought it was terrible, and I wanted to be an artist, and I wanted to be a writer. Did not want to do anything with coding.
Look where he ended up, right?
Yeah, he knew something. But then came along Minecraft, and I loved. There's a mechanic in Minecraft that is actually just a form of binary coding called redstone, and it intrigued me so much. I loved it. I had so much fun back then doing that.
How old were you?
I think 10, 11.
So this was like old Minecraft. This was before any of these massive updates we've seen today, I think.
Yeah. This was part of the beta. Full release, it hadn't even been fully released, but I played on a popular server and made a lot of good friends that I'm still friends with today. And but I loved Redstone, and I was learning so much about it. I would spend hours and hours and hours looking up how to make certain things, certain logic gates, all of it. And then I realized that this is just coding. I'm actually coding in the game, and that's when I actually started doing that for the game. A few years later, though, then I started doing some Java development for Minecraft, making Minecraft mods and actually helping a server get it going. And I loved it. I had so much fun with it. I never thought I could enjoy coding, but having that real-time response and seeing my efforts in the game come to life, it was awesome. So then I became a software developer. My dad was really happy. And that was my big introduction to software development. And I find it interesting because some projects you really get to see the fruits of your labor. And
well, do you know if any of the things you created back then, like, people are still using?
I don't think so. A lot of it is probably deprecated at this point. But it's possible. I posted it to a few of the mods are still available on a couple of the different forums that supports Minecraft mods, but I don't know. Maybe someone's still using them. That'd be cool.
That would be quite interesting if somebody was using them now in 2021 compared to however many years ago that was.
Yeah, it's been a really, really long time. How about you?
So mine's also a little bit similar in terms of gaming, but I never actually. I always grew up playing video games. That's started out with World of Warcraft, and that drew me into gaming. Mm-hmm. And then I got into high school. I'd never taken a programming class, and I was getting towards the end in my senior year, and I was like, well, I think I like video games enough to where I probably like coding. And I at this point, graduating, was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take computer science as my major. And I kind of always enjoyed it. It's always been super interesting to me. And one of the biggest reasons I enjoy it nowadays too, like I appreciate this a lot more now than I did before, mm-hmm. is you can show anybody, you can pick any language almost, and you can go on YouTube, find 5 or 10 minute tutorials, pick up coding, and then you can learn. You can just keep self-teaching yourself, and it just scales into almost everything nowadays. So it's something that's just super marketable, and it's just really cool to see different people create different things. And yeah, that's how I got into it, and I've been stuck doing it ever since.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty, similar story. But that will lead into some other questions further on, for sure. But now you can tell me a little bit about some of the interests you have outside of software development, now that we're kind of breaching that subject. And yeah, give me a rundown of that.
Yeah, so some of the things I like outside of software development are I'm a huge gamer. Right now, Valorant's the go-to. Mm-hmm. But we played, Rolan and I and a few of our other friends, we played anything from like World of Warcraft to old school RuneScape. What else have we played recently? Oh,
you don't remember?
I'm trying to think of like some of the big ones we all played together. Oh, Realm Royale, that's the the go-to.
There's PUBG.
Oh yeah, PUBG, that was good. But yeah, those are some of the different games we played. And then recently, with all the crypto trends, we're super into the cryptoverse. We originally got into it back in 2018 when that first big bubble happened. That was quite interesting. We'll have to talk about that another time. We'll get into that. And then I like long walks on the beach. And I like
okay.
And I like the gym. I've been working out a ton. I've been trying to cut for the summer. So those are kind of some of the things that affect my day-to-day. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I mean, we share a lot of the same interests, but yeah, I obviously really like video games. If I had to be honest with myself and everybody who might be listening, I probably spend 12 hours a day in my chair between my job and my hobbies.
Before you continue into your hobbies, tell us about your chair.
Okay. I have the Herman Miller Embody X Logitech chair.
It's a nice chair.
It's a very nice chair. And I did it because of what I spend so much time on my desk. I need to be careful about my posture and I was getting back pains a lot. So, you just gotta take care of yourself.
When somebody kills you in a video game and you say, he's cheating, no, that guy just has a really good gaming chair. So
Okay.
That's this guy.
Yep. That is me. Those. God. You just had to throw that in there, huh?
Yeah, I had to include that. This guy games, and he's got the gaming chair.
I used to do a lot of streaming. I've been taking a break from it for a while. That was a really nice hobby, but I kind of needed like a mental reset from it all. I'll probably get back to it eventually, maybe with the podcast. We'll see. But at the same time, I enjoy skiing. I go on ski trips about every year to 2 years. It's definitely a hobby of mine at this point. Didn't think I'd like it.
Do you have your own skis?
No. I did not invest in my own skis. I never felt like I needed to because I could always just rent. So it just doesn't really make sense for me right now to buy my own skis when I'm in Florida 99% of the time. I do woodworking when I can. I haven't done it in a little while. I'm actually in the search for my own place to get back into it, but it's been a little bit. And honestly, as you can probably predict, I like D&D. That's definitely been a hobby of mine as of recently. We've gone through a few campaigns. Kevin tried it. He wasn't a big fan, but I'm still a fan.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it as much as I wanted to. I for the longest time I was talking about joining their campaign, and because I felt like I would really like it, and then once I got into it, it was just a little bit too much for me, and I backed out after like the first one. I couldn't get into it, so.
Hey,
how's that campaign even going? Is it like?
It kind of fell through a lot of scheduling conflicts. People just didn't really have the time for it anymore. So.
Seems to be the case with a lot of D&D campaigns.
Yeah, that is the killer for most campaigns, honestly, when people can't coordinate their schedules very well. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much all my interests. Of course, I have a few other ones, but nothing as prevalent as those.
Sounds about right. He's a nerd. Yeah.
I am very much a nerd. All right, so
let's get into these questions, man. We're
gonna start asking each other questions that we haven't looked at each other's questions that we've made for each other, and they can be anything. So we're kind of getting into more impromptu answers at this point.
I'm excited for some of these questions he has for me, and I want to see his response to some of mine. The way I've kind of laid out mine is I'm gonna do one serious one and one shot in the dark. We're gonna.
All right.
We'll see.
Mine are like a kind of scatter shot. So.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
A lot of different topics.
Yeah, and some are very specific, some are very broad. But I'm just gonna throw them at you and see how you do. You want to go first?
I'll go first. So I'm gonna start off with what's your favorite dinosaur?
Okay, yeah, definitely was not expecting that one. Dang.
I'm putting him on the spot straight away.
Yeah. Do you remember that animated dinosaur movie? I forgot what it was called. It was really popular in the early 90s, 2000s. I forgot what it was called.
Little Tail? Land Before Time.
Land Before Time.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. And I think I really liked Brontosaurus? The Brontosaurus?
How do you remember that movie?
When you say dinosaurs, it just pops into my head.
That's the first thing?
One of the first things that pops into my head is that little Brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus, okay.
I think they're pretty cool, pretty big. But I've been like reading some stuff recently on the actual are they real kind of thing. And I actually don't remember if brontosaurs are real or not. I have to look into that.
These are the questions for the books. I'm not sure either, man. I don't really know too much about dinosaurs, honestly. I only the only time I ever like actually learned about them was going to like museums. Really, I don't really know anything else outside of that. Like I haven't done my own personal research into it at all.
You gotta get a dinosaur guy on the podcast eventually.
You know what I want to have? I want to have a coffee, like on my coffee table. I want to have a book about dinosaurs. So whenever I have guests over, they can read about some dinosaurs.
Like a pop-up book.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
All right, well, but I mean, what's yours? What's your favorite dinosaur?
Velociraptor, 100%.
God, of course.
Yeah, they're cool. I just they're the only ones that I feel like they work in these little groups, and I've seen Jurassic Park a few times, and I really like them.
I want to be their friend.
I'd ride one.
All right, so
if I could have an in-game mount of a Velociraptor.
They have one for WoW. I know they do.
Oh yeah, I guess they do, don't they?
Yeah, I've never been a mount guy.
Horde, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, no, I think it's WoW Classic as a troll.
Oh,
I don't know why
really?
I remember that so specifically. Yeah, it was the troll specific mount. All right, I'm nerding out. Anyway, my question now. Who is your newest friend, and what brought you together?
My newest friend, probably somebody at work. I'm not gonna say his name. We'll call him, or I'll come up with a fake name. We'll call him Jim. Jim at work. Probably my newest friend, actually. He just joined on our team, a little development team, and yeah, he's just like, he doesn't do too much work. Not to call him out, low key. He does like a lot of like but he's just a funny guy. He's just a cool dude. He knows how to lighten the mood a ton, and I think people really like that. Yeah. What about you?
Now when I say friend, I mean more than acquaintance, and so I would say the one that comes to mind is probably, and we've talked to him quite a few times.
Okay.
Mr. Arctic Voids.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say he's probably my newest friend that I
that you'd consider like a
friend,
like a real friend. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
like someone that I could see myself
see.
talking to for years, kind of thing. Like catching up.
See.
He's a really nice guy. Actually, we met just randomly playing some games, and we got together after the game, and we've been chatting, and we play games together pretty regularly when I was playing games that he was playing, but we still keep in touch, and he's a cool guy, a really nice guy.
He's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude.
We've definitely played some good Valorant games with him.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say that's my newest friend that I can think of. I might be missing somebody, but he's the first one that pops to my mind.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about it like for like a long-term kind of thing. I wonder who I'd consider my.
Yeah, because there's friends and then there's acquaintances, and of course I've met several acquaintances up until that point, or like recently.
I think you consider friends a little differently than I do, though.
Potentially.
It sounds like your friend, like what you consider a friend, is a little bit different than what I do. Because I even though I think it might be the same as an acquaintance, and like from what you're describing, to me, I'd consider them like a friend. Like maybe not somebody that like I could like see talking to for years, but somebody
a friend
I'm like.
For me is someone who I would reach out to hang out with because I enjoy their company enough to like reach out to them. An acquaintance is somebody that if I see them around, I like them, like, I'm polite, but there's not enough interest from either party to like go further than that, to go out to a bar with or invite over for a game night or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. I could see that bit. That's a good point.
All right.
Okay. So my turn now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now on to a little bit more of a serious question. What do you want out of the podcast, or what do you want the podcast to be?
Good question. It's kind of similar to one of my questions, actually, so that's a little unfortunate. Well, my goal for the podcast is to provide something for people to drink their coffee with and be entertained, and just enjoy the conversations we have, and maybe, ideally, learn something from them, because that, I think, is really cool.
That would be really cool, yeah.
So the end goal for this is to have enough people interested, that we can actually find people to come onto the podcast and teach us something that we want to learn about, because that'd be really awesome, you know?
That'd
Maybe
be sick,
I
yeah.
really want to learn more about dinosaurs. Maybe we can have a dinosaur guy on, you know?
That'd be, yeah, the archaeology, or what is it? What is the study of dinosaurs called?
That's why I called him the dinosaur guy. I have no idea.
You don't know it either.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But I
We'll
think,
get one of the actors from the old Jurassic Park movies. That's who I need in here.
and that's my goal with the podcast. I think that'd be really neat and something I can really feel proud of, you know?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I want people to be able to take something away from the podcast, whether it's just for entertainment value or to learn something. I think that these are the perfect types of chat, or these plan is to have these be the perfect types of background chats to just listen to, enjoy your coffee, and just have a good start to your day.
All right. Yeah, good question. I have to cross mine out now. Hold on. All right, so what's a piece of advice that has stuck with you forever?
Ooh, the first thing that comes to mind, don't bite the hand that feeds you, is one of the things that I think I kind of took to heart a long time ago. Never burn your bridges, and always just end things on good notes, and you never know where it'll land you long term with some of these people.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that more often than not, when you have bad blood with somebody and you are able to just end things on a good note, and it just works out better,
Yeah, bury the hatchet.
Exactly. What about you? What's something that you kept with yourself for a long time?
It's actually a piece of advice that my older brother, I'm the youngest of three, so the middle brother gave to me when he was in high school. I think I was in either middle school. I think I was in middle school. And there was a point in my life where I was going to him for a lot of questions. And my brother is probably one of the most hardworking. It is the most hardworking people I know. And during high school, he was getting 4 hours of sleep a night. He would get home, start his homework, and
you said this is your oldest brother or your middle brother?
Middle brother. This is Robin.
Okay.
And he extremely hard worker. He was going to have you heard of the IB program?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a really rigorous curriculum in high school.
Is the IB program everywhere nowadays? Like, is it across all states?
I think so. I think it's a national program at this point.
Okay, I wasn't sure it was like a Florida thing.
It's international. What am I saying? The IB stands for International Baccalaureate.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's an international program, but
it's from. Is it by Cambridge?
No, it's just a high school program.
No, but I'm saying,
Like
is Cambridge the one that sponsored it, like, originally for it to start?
No idea. Yeah.
I remember hearing something about that, but I'm not sure.
I was going to him with my silly middle school issues, and
the middle school tea,
yeah,
the drama.
Well, not necessarily drama, just like middle school problems with my homework kind of thing, right?
Right.
And he's really hardworking, so he's always working when I go to his questions, and he would take time out of his day to answer my questions. But I was going to him for really little stuff, and he realized that, and he said, Rolan, you need to learn to try to figure stuff out for yourself before you ask for help. And that has stuck with me for my entire life since then.
That's something I apply every day almost.
It is something so basic but very, very, very important that a lot of people don't realize. And you know, I took it to heart, and now it's actually kind of to my detriment to some point, because now I have a hard time asking anyone for help for anything. So a little bit of a backfire, but it's still extremely important because it really helped me develop my problem solving skills and probably helped me become a software engineer at the end of the day.
It's super important in our field to be able to do that. I mean, if you're asking questions all day, you're taking away from others' time and you're not figuring things out for yourself.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's not going to Stack Overflow itself. Okay. But yeah, that's one piece of advice that it's stuck with me. So.
That's a good piece of advice for anybody that's just getting into coding. Don't be afraid to ask questions, but try to learn things on your own first.
It's more than just coding. It's more than just code. It's life, just in life.
Oh, I mean, yeah. You
know, applicable everywhere.
Applicable, yeah. I got facts.
Yeah. All right, your turn.
So my next question: what kind of socks do you prefer? Low ankle or high top socks?
Low ankle.
Low ankle?
Yep.
Is this for any occasion when you go outside or inside? Do you wear socks inside?
Depends. If it's cold, I'll wear socks. But like right now, I have my socks off. When I sleep, I have my socks off. If I'm going to like a nice restaurant and I'm dressed up, then I'll wear the like the ankle socks.
Right.
I never wear socks that go over my knee. I hate that.
Over your knee?
Yeah, knee socks. I don't like knee socks.
I struggle to find people that actually wear knee socks. I don't think that's like a thing regular people, do.
Okay.
Not to knock anybody that wears knee socks. That's great if you do. I just don't see a lot of people wearing it.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to adjust my fan real quick. But I think my dad wears knee socks, so I'm just gonna need an apology.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I haven't met him yet, so we're starting on the wrong foot.
Why? Do you like a specific kind of sock?
I'm kind of the same. I wear different socks for different occasions. I think if you're sitting at your computer and you're not wearing socks, you're wrong.
Are you serious? Wait, are you wearing socks right now?
I am wearing socks right now. I enjoy wearing socks for the most part. I think they're very comfortable. But I don't sleep with socks. I think what's worse is if you sleep with socks. That's no.
All right, you have some. Okay.
But I think most of the time, lately I've been gravitating towards higher socks, like I guess ankle socks.
Like ankle socks.
Where do I? Yeah, a little bit higher than that. What are they like? Just what's in between your
crew?
Yeah, I guess they would be crew socks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those used to be really popular when I was in middle school. All the student athletes would wear their.
They made a comeback recently.
Yeah, maybe in middle school, Kevin.
I'm a child at heart, so I wear them to the gym a lot. I'm a loser.
They're more athletic. I'll give you that. They're more athletic.
I guess I'm stuck in middle school, man. These guys are into my life. All right, what's your question?
All right, this one's very serious.
Okay.
Please explain squishy face and what it means to you.
Oh, wow, this is targeted.
Yep.
Are you saying this just in the context of like women I like?
Just answer the question, Kevin.
What does squishy face imply? Okay, so squishy face, for the just to fill some background here, is happens to be apparently a type of women or woman I like, a facial feature. I have a very distinct type of girl I'm attracted to, according to Rolan, and she happens to have a squishy face.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
It's like a smaller, roundish face. Yeah, it's just super cute.
So if any girls who might be listening to this has what is described as a squishy face, Kevin is single.
Very interested in the squishy face.
Okay.
I don't know if any girl would want to,
talk to a guy with crew socks. I agree.
Yeah. No. Admit to having a squishy face. I feel like just hearing that sounds bad. What about you? Do you like squishy face?
Well, my definition of squishy face is very circular face that, chubby cheeks kind of thing. That's squishy face. And
I don't think chubby cheeks are squishy. I guess it could be part of it.
That's part of squishy face, man. That's part of that is
chubby cheeks?
Yeah, you like chubby cheeks.
I disagree with that. I don't like chubby cheeks.
But yeah, I mean, I think squishy face can be pretty cute, but not
fair.
It's eye of the beholder,
Facts.
All right, you go ahead.
All right, so I will preface this. I think a more direct answer is probably better here, as we'll probably talk about this a lot in a future podcast. But the question is, where do you see crypto in the next 5 years, and do you see Ethereum passing Bitcoin in terms of market cap?
Okay. Let me preface this by saying this is not financial advice. This is purely my own speculation.
His illusions here, illusions of grandeur. Let's see.
Delusions.
Delusion.
I think crypto in the next 5 years has a future. It depends on what comes after. Honestly, I don't think we are currently in the iteration of crypto that will become, as I've described it before, the cyberpunk currency. Where like the kind of credit currencies you see in these futuristic depictions of society. I don't think we have seen or discovered that current iteration yet. So in the next 5 years, I don't know if we'll see that iteration. We might, because development is really taking off, but it really depends on the people who are supporting crypto and who are giving it attention in that way.
So you're saying Bonfire and SafeMoon, they aren't it?
I'm not gonna get into that. You asked for a direct answer.
Good point.
We'll save that for another time. But yeah, I'm not gonna comment on any other currencies and how I feel about them. I will say I personally feel Ethereum has the potential to take over Bitcoin, but it's really, really, really going to be difficult to overcome that. The first, I forget, there's a certain term for this. I actually forgot what it was. But the guy that enters the market first, which is Bitcoin in this instance, it's so hard to overcome that, and Ethereum has a long way to go to do that. I think with Ethereum 2.0, it does have that potential to overcome in market cap, but it really comes down to how Ethereum 2.0 pans out, the future of Bitcoin. I don't really know too much about what's happening on the development side of Bitcoin. So if they can match the updates that Ethereum 2.0 is coming out with, there's potential that either Ethereum takes the lead or Bitcoin remains king. I personally believe more in Ethereum because I have the development updates that are coming out. But
right.
who's to say in 5 years, you know? We could have a whole new, I mean, look at Cardano, for example.
Cardano's been huge lately.
Yeah, we could have a whole new coin that comes out and just wipes the board with all of these. So
you never know nowadays with some of these new coins.
It's such a new thing. Still going through its growing pains. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I'm right along there with you. I think the market is expanding a lot, and I think there's a lot of room for it, and we're not in that cyberpunk-esque phase of it yet. Which will be sick if that happens in our lifetime, which I think it will at some point. Maybe not in the next 5 years, but down the line it might, which would be quite interesting.
For something like that to take place, it would require this whatever decentralized currency to overcome the centralized banks of every country on the globe, essentially, which is a tall order, right? So it's gonna be a while.
That's a good point. I think that and then going back to the other part of it, will Ethereum pass Bitcoin? Obviously, for my own speculation purposes, I don't think it will. At least not soon. I think that right now people are using Bitcoin as a place for storage, store of value more than anything. Mm-hmm. And I think that we'll continue to see that growth for Bitcoin in the next few years, and maybe we'll see that $100,000-$200,000 Bitcoin coming up, and then that market cap is just going to explode. So we'll see what happens.
Yep, it's definitely hard to speculate.
Yeah, you never know with crypto.
All right. So for the next question, what's something that you achieved that you can be proud of?
I think one of the things that I don't appreciate enough is some of the nice things I have in my life, and one big thing for me was getting my own place. I've come to appreciate this a lot over the last year almost. I just finally got my own place in this last year, and I think ever since having it, I've just felt very accomplished in a specific type of way. For those of you that don't have it and have roommates or live with your parents, once you get to the step that you can have your own place or share it with even one other person, it's quite enjoyable. It's a very unique experience. I'm looking forward to when you get your house and you can experience it yourself, Rolan.
Yeah, me too. This housing market is such a mess. So we'll see if it actually happens in the next year. But yeah, that's good, man. I'm happy for that. You know that is quite an accomplishment, and I think that is a landmark in anyone's life when they can afford to move out and take care of themselves and handle their own business.
I think to be able to do it like comfortably and not have to worry about certain financial things, it just sets a tone in your life that it's you've kind of passed a certain stage. And I guess something we should share is probably our ages. I'm 25. Rolan, how old are you?
I'm 23.
So we're almost at the same point in our lives, a little bit different age-wise, but yeah, I think that's something anybody can really look forward to. And I think after college is probably the best time to, if you can afford it comfortably, to get your own place if you have that opportunity. What about you? When do you think is the best time to get your own place?
Honestly, it depends on your situation. Especially right now, I can understand where I don't want to set the precedent where like, oh, after you get out of college, you should have your own place. It really depends on your financial situation.
Absolutely.
So the best time to do it is when you are financially stable enough to do it and you see the benefit of doing it. For me, I'm looking for a house because I can see the benefit to my mental health and my general lifestyle to do it. And that's just me, So it's really dependent on what you're looking for.
It's different for everybody.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
I think personally I would have liked to do it sooner. I think coming out of college I had some nice stepping stones, fortunately, and I'm grateful for those things. But I think thinking back on it now, I think if I had gotten my own place a little bit sooner, I would have gotten to know the fruits of it. So I would have enjoyed it a little bit sooner.
True. That's fair. But you have, at least, with your lifestyle, like 25 more years. No, I was kidding.
I can live comfortably until about next week.
All right. Yeah.
So my question, right? All right. So if you were on an island and could only bring one thing, no cheating, like a cell phone or something OP, what would you bring? And if you could bring one person as well with you on this island to help you escape, what would it be, and who?
Okay, so I can bring one thing and one person to the island.
Yeah, and it can't be something like a computer or internet in some way or phone.
So no technology.
Nothing that would make it too easy to get off the island.
Okay, but what if I just brought
I can say a bow.
the tools to build a home, and then I brought my future wife, and I just stayed on the island?
That's a good answer. You got your own island then, right?
I got my own island.
But you have to take the gamble that there might not be food and everything you need on the island.
Well, you didn't specify that, right? So I can make the assumption that there is. Is that fair?
I guess if you could bring the tools to build a house on an island, you might as well just be able to get food and water comfortably. Everything else included with your house. So it's your dream house on your island with your wife.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But to answer your question more specifically, it's a very difficult question to answer in terms of who I'd want to bring.
There's a lot of different if factors to that question.
Yeah. I'd probably bring one of my brothers to at least try to escape. If I'm looking to escape the island, I'd probably bring one of my brothers. Which one? I don't know. As for
coin flip it.
Yeah, I'd probably have to coin flip whoever got unlucky enough to get stuck on an island. And then as for what I would bring, I would probably just bring. I don't know what the limit here is. Does it have to fit on my person, or can I?
It has to be it just has to be reasonable. It can fit on your person. Yeah.
Can I just bring a whole toolkit?
Yeah, you can bring a toolkit.
Okay, I'd bring a toolkit.
Why a toolkit? So you can build a house?
So I can build whatever I need to get off the island.
Do you think you could build? Okay, I guess that's fair. I guess you could build a raft or something on the island. Yeah.
If I have a whole modern toolkit, I could probably build a pretty stable something.
You could build the shelter, a little raft.
Tools are OP, as you said.
Are OP. Yeah.
Why? What about you? What would you bring? Who and what?
So, if I had to escape, if I was also trying to escape the island, I probably would bring a jet ski. No, let's see. I'd probably bring something to, if we could assume that there's animals and there's a source of water on the island, I probably would consider living on it for a little bit and building a raft, something like that. I'd probably bring some kind of weapon or something to hunt. Something easy enough that yeah, maybe a toolkit's the best answer for this. Fuck, man. If I build a weapon, I'm kind of stuck with it. What am I gonna do? Eat the weapon? Eat a rock? I don't know.
Exactly.
Toolkit's very versatile here. That's a good answer. I'm trying to think, man. Maybe coffee? Is that a good answer?
Yep, perfect answer.
What's something outside of the box that I could think of? Something that'd be interesting.
Sorry, man.
I
there's
don't
no
know,
time.
man. Yeah.
Do you know who you'd bring?
I'd probably bring my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I think my dad's be a good resource here. Or actually maybe even Mike. I might bring Mike. He's a pretty resourceful guy. He's one of our friends for those listening. He seems like he'd know what to do in a situation like that.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer. You know, he could carry his own weight for sure. Probably carry your weight too.
Yeah. Probably. Or what if I brought you? You'd be stuck on the island.
If you brought me, man, I would be pissed.
You'd be pissed. Anybody you bring would be probably not too happy.
All right.
What's your question?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, we'll do 2 more questions each. I think that would be good. So this one, how do you feel about the ethical responsibilities involved with creating artificial intelligence?
This is a good question. I think that it's obvious. There's obviously a ton of ethical things that go into something like this, right? Like, I mean, artificial intelligence just scales infinitely, right? And it's basically getting to a point now where you have different things, like, especially like I work in the defense industry right now, and I think that thinking about, you know, autonomous things, especially like weapons going with autonomous stuff like that is pretty crazy. And then some of the different things of artificial intelligence taking over and like thinking for itself is very interesting. It sparks a lot of different debates for different sectors in different fields.
Okay.
I think that overall, though, it just kind of depends on the field you're working on. I think for the most part, it does more good than harm overall as a whole.
Okay. No, I mean, I think it's solid. You know? So, do you feel like the ethical discussions regarding general artificial intelligence and general artificial intelligence is AI that can think for itself? It's not specific because there's specific AI for very specific purposes, like what you were talking about, automated weapons and stuff like that. But a general AI is like the stuff that you see in movies, right? Where it's a machine that can learn and think.
So you're just talking about this in a general purpose, like, do I support a machine being able to, like, you know?
Well, what do you think are the responsibilities of man when creating something like this? What do you think they should be thinking about ethically?
The first thing, I guess I've been watching too many movies. The first thing I think about is just whether or not it harms people. That's like, is this, you know, thing gonna get to a point where it's gonna endanger lives, or is it gonna, you know, save them, or what's the purpose of this machine? Like, at the end of the day, like, is it just a, you know, learn all, teach all? You know, it's a really hard question to answer.
It's very complex, yeah. And I just want general feelings about it.
Well, what do you think about it? Is it, you know, when you think about this machine in general practice, like learning and discovering things for itself, what do you think about?
Well, there's the argument that general AI should not be considered life, essentially. But if it ever gets to the point where we create an artificial intelligence that passes the Turing test, which is the test to determine if an AI is advanced enough to essentially trick a human into thinking it's human, then there is an ethical responsibility, in my opinion, to maintain that AI as another life, and it should be considered a life similar to any other human.
I see.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So but that you can go down a rabbit hole with that. That's a whole long conversation.
It is very. It can get very in depth very fast there.
Yep. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So on a completely different note,
Yep.
let's talk about esports for a second. How do you feel about esports currently, and do you think there's going to be a next big scene for esports in 2021 and 2022?
Yeah, I think if anything, esports is growing exponentially at this point. And next big scene is 100% going to be Valorant, which is the newest game from, I think it's the newest game from Riot Games. Actually, no, it's the newest shooter from Riot Games. It's their only shooter, actually. And it's a tactical FPS, 5v5, very much inspired by Counter-Strike Global Offensive, with its own unique twist. But man, that esports scene is blowing up, and especially with, I'm not saying the pandemic is coming to an end, because if you just read the news, it's definitely not. But as more people are getting vaccinated and things are opening up a little bit, I think we'll see a really big following for these events.
If we do get some LAN events for Valorant, I would love to go to that. That'd be very interesting.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, and just watching the events online, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really well made game for spectators, and
I hated it at first.
Yeah, yep. I had to convince this guy to keep trying it.
Yeah, I think at the time I was playing League a lot, League of Legends, and I jumped on it just straight up comparing it to Counter-Strike, because that's the only FPS I really knew that was similar to that game. And I didn't like it at first. I think I tried it in the first act.
Yeah.
This was after the beta, post-beta. And I didn't like it. It just felt weird to me. It didn't feel as satisfying, the shooting. But I came back to it, gave it a second shot, and we still play it a lot. I actually really enjoy the game. I like a lot of the updates they make for it. The only thing that I think they really need to do is add more maps. Like, that needs to be a huge goal in that game, because it doesn't compare to Counter-Strike, at least on that level. The amount of maps that Counter-Strike has is insane.
Yeah, and as time goes on, they'll keep adding more maps, and gotta remember it's an infant right now. It's only been out fully for a year, so
yeah.
It's definitely going through its growing cycles, and I think give it another year, it's gonna be a huge name in the industry.
Definitely. I think esports is just getting bigger and bigger every year at this point. It really is growing, and there's a lot of opportunities in it for some of these young kids too. Like one of the streamers I watch, he's like 17, streaming on Twitch, Valorant, like almost a Valorant pro at this point, and he's got like 100K followers at that, and he's insane. So there's a lot of opportunities for some of the younger generation to get into the the scene. Governor.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen him around on some of the other streams. So
pretty cracked. The guy's insane. Pretty good.
All right. So for my final question for you, what would you rather be doing than software development?
I thought you were gonna say, would you rather be doing than recording this podcast? If I wasn't doing software, one of the ideas I had for a really long time prior to working in the field professionally is I definitely considered going pro on some games in college. I thought I could make it as a pro league player. Didn't happen, obviously. But right now, I think more realistically, I've been considering becoming a sales engineer, and been looking into doing that, and I think that would definitely be an interesting twist from working as a software engineer. What about you?
Well, I think if I were ever to give up the software engineering, career, I might want to get into sales. I used to do a sales engineering club, and that was fun. I got to compete on nationally at it's called a National Society of Sales Engineering competition, and my team came in first place. So I feel pretty confident that I could do pretty well as a sales engineer. But I would actually really like doing woodworking. I feel like
that'd be cool, man.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and working with my hands like that. Do you
think you could make like a living comfortably out of doing that?
If I had the tools, the time, and the motivation.
If he had the toolkit from the island, this guy.
Exactly. And I think I could. 1 second. Oh. Okay. And I really think it could be a fun time, you know. And it's funny enough,
Absolutely.
a lot of software engineers become woodworkers after they retire.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually a trend.
Huh. I didn't know that.
I think it's something to do with creating something with your own two hands from an original design, or, you know, you start with a design and you kind of make it come to fruition. It's very similar to what I was doing with Minecraft, you know, where you can see the fruits of your labor as you're doing it. So
absolutely
very satisfying.
Cool. Well, my last question for you is a little bit more. This is gonna make your brain hurt, Roland.
Mm-hmm.
This is okay. So, for the audience here, Roland is a huge cheesecake guy. This guy likes some cheesecake. So, the question is: no more cheesecake for the rest of your life, or no more Valorant for the rest of your life? What's it gonna be?
I'll probably no more Valorant. Yeah.
Can't give up the cheesecake?
Cheesecake is for life. Valorant is a blip, you know, in my life. So
if you ever get a tattoo, your first one be a piece of cheesecake.
Yeah. I can
Right
always
on your
watch, you know,
forehead.
with the esports scene blowing up, I can just watch Valorant, you know? I enjoy that too. So I can watch the people that I'll never be as good as play the game and enjoy my cheesecake while I watch. So definitely 100% sticking with the cheesecake.
Cheesecake's pretty good.
Cheesecake for life.
I don't have cheesecake often enough to really consider cheesecake an answer here for me, but I like cheesecake. It's good when I have it.
Hey,
I just think
I play Valorant way more than I eat cheesecake, but the times I'm eating cheesecake are too special to give up, you know?
it's good enough for you, yeah.
Yep.
It satisfies that. Okay. Yeah.
I think that kind of, you know, wraps up what we intended. We're hitting that 1 hour mark, so that was fun, man. I got to learn a little bit more about you, and hopefully gave anyone who might be listening some insight into who we are.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the learning a little bit more about us, and thanks for tuning in and listening.
Yeah, and please let us know what you'd want to hear about or want to hear us talk about, like goofballs. On the next one, we have some plans to definitely talk about, go further into cryptocurrency. I'm sure we'll do that eventually, and a few other topics. Definitely want to talk about film and get into more things about the world. So please reach out, let us know. But till next time, hope you enjoyed your coffee. Hope you enjoyed the conversation, and see you next time.